This is Kurt from the Kuhl Odyssey coming to you today from the back of my 2015 Jeep Wrangler Rubicon, and going to do another project on the Jeep today. And basically what we're going to do is we're going to build a storage box. So right now in the back of the Jeep I have this mountain bike holder mounted down that holds my two bicycles, and then I have this storage box, which is just a big plastic tote anchored down to the bike rack. And then it just sits here, and this storage bin holds most of what I like to have in the Jeep: the air compressor, tools, things for the dog, things for the bike, some emergency supplies. But there's just not quite enough room inside of this box, and I couldn't find a box that had a better sizing. So if you look in front of the box here, there's actually almost a foot of empty space, and I can just throw things down there. But I really like to have things have a place and be stored in a spot where they're not going to move around and everything's secure. So what I'm going to work on today is I'm actually going to build a new box storage system for the back. It's going to be made of 3/4 inch plywood. I'm going to coat it in bed liner material. It'll have just a hinged lid on the top, be able to fit much more inside of it. It'll also be anchored down to the bike rack as well. The other thing I'm going to add is it's going to have a slide out table that I can use, so that I can have a little bit of an area to cook or just work or whatever I need to do, and that'll be built into the bottom of the box. So what I'll do is I'll film some of the construction of the box. It's going to be a pretty simple box, and I'll try to show how we put it all together and give you an idea of how we're going to make the storage a little more efficient in the back of the Jeep. Okay, so I've still got a long ways to go, but I figure I can at least get a progress update on where we're at with the box. So as you can see, it's going to be bolted down here to the bike rack, and it's spaced off in the back so that it's level. And then here, this is going to be my table / work surface that I can have for when camping or parked. And that'll slide all the way in flush. I just don't want to get it stuck right now. And then this lid, I've actually decided, is going to open this direction, and then that will be all my storage down inside. So still got a long way to go, a lot of sanding, getting all the corners nice. I'm going to do something special with this tabletop, and then going to get it all coated with the black bed liner material. And yeah, I think that'll probably be the next update. Okay, so we're back here at the Jeep again, and the box is now all complete and done being built. As you see, I have one bike in here right now. The second bike also still fits. I just wanted to keep one out to make it a little easier to show the box. This was kind of inspired by some things I saw at the Overland Expo 2017 up in Flagstaff this year. They had some amazing utility systems you could put in the back of a pickup or a Jeep. I just wasn't ready to bite off the expense of what some of those systems were. This project, all in, I'm at about $80 in materials, and then my time. And I figure this will give me a great chance to see how I use it, if there's anything I'd do differently, and it wouldn't be that big of a deal if I had to start over. So I'll kind of show you around a little bit what I did. So obviously the box is just made of 3/4 inch plywood. I've coated it in a spray-on bed liner material, which I haven't decided if that was the greatest idea or not. I was out on the trail all day yesterday for about 30 miles, and all the windows were down and things got pretty dusty, and it's kind of hard to clean this off. So not totally sure that that was the best coating. We'll see how it goes. Just put on some standard toolbox type latches, mandatory bottle opener. It's obviously not made by TerraFlex. I just thought I'd stick that sticker on there because I had an extra one. I'll kind of show you the inside of the box, and I'll bring the camera over for a closer look. But the two latches basically open, and with the bikes in, I can only raise the lid this far. But what I did is built a prop rod and put multiple locations that I can hold the lid open. So right there is the position I can be with the bikes in. I've put all my tools in here. I've actually was able to fit my camping gear. So I have a cook stove, some freeze-dried food, hammock, all the different things I would need for camping, everything but a sleeping bag and clothing. So I have all that in here, so anytime I'm out, I actually have everything I would need to be able to survive out for a couple days. I'll give you a closer look at the inside so you can kind of see how I laid things out. The other thing I did was I wanted to have kind of a work surface here. So I built this table that's built into the bottom. So there's actually a pin here that I pull out, and then this table slides out. And I have a second slot that the pin fits back into right there. And since it's not totally secure, I just took a piece of PVC and made a little rod that attaches down to my trailer hitch like that. And then now I have a nice work surface. And I said I wanted to do something kind of different here. So this was my first attempt working with some epoxy resin, kind of the clear coat that you see on bar tops and whatnot. Learned a couple lessons the hard way. It didn't turn out perfect. It's going to be fine for what I'm using it for here in the Jeep. But what I did is I got these postcards that are national park postcards, kind of burned the edges to give it a kind of a rustic look. And then I glued them down to the plywood and then poured the epoxy resin over that. What I didn't anticipate was while the epoxy was sitting on top, it actually began to soak into the postcards, and the edges of some of the postcards started to come up. So it's actually not perfectly smooth. I do have some edges that are sticking up. I don't know, sometime I may try remaking the drawer, the table here, but for now it's going to suit the purposes for what I need it for. And it gives it kind of an interesting look instead of just a plain old piece of plywood. Okay, I thought I'd come in here and give you a little bit closer look at this tabletop. As you can see, has the epoxy resin, makes it nice and shiny, hopefully protected, but there is some edges that stick up, which I can down the side. So far from perfect, but it's going to do well for what I'm going to use it for. And then looking at the interior of the box, I did install a couple pieces of conduit. This piece of conduit actually stores my hose for my air compressor. And then I put in some other pieces of conduit to have things such as a sledgehammer, my ball peen hammer, tire wrench, there's an axe down there, my compressor, so here's my camp chair, compressor fits down inside, tool bag, all my camping gear. So there's actually quite a bit of room inside of the box. So I'm thinking it's going to work out pretty well. It adds a lot more storage than the plastic bin that I had. Like I said, it didn't turn out perfectly, but I think it's going to work well for what I intended. And having the table out here will definitely be nice. All right, so I'll kind of get this thing all closed back up here. Remove my post. All right, so that's going to wrap up my Jeep storage box project. I'll be sure and report back and let you know how it holds up, if everything stays together well, and if it serves all the purposes that I was hoping that it would. We thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. We'd appreciate it if you subscribe as well, and please keep tuned in for future videos down the road.